I have been told I'm going to regret this question. I'm looking at you. So you've mentioned a few times DSAT, the words DSAT. Even from a training background, I don't particularly know what DSAT is. I've always nodded and gone, oh yes, DSAT compliance, that's great. Can you quickly explain, even if it's an elevator pitch, I'm going up 5 different floors, can you explain to me in about 40 seconds what DSAT is?
So DSAT is basically a methodology of training. In effect, there's multiple elements to DSAT because there's lots of different training elements, but it's the defense system approach to training, and essentially what it's looking at is the analysis, all elements of a learning methodology. Now, for me, when I am sitting there looking at DSAT, often in my military career, when I would go and talk to various people, it was always seen as a bit of a dark art, and therefore people kind of tried to move away. But the reality is all you're trying to do is make training compliant, safe, but ensuring that there is the rigor, the academic rigor and controls in place to make sure that you are receiving a product that is going to ensure that your people are meeting the right training requirements. That's it pretty much in a nutshell. DSAT for Defence obviously has additional kind of areas of protection around it, in the fact that you're looking at mitigating more risk and all that type of stuff. But in effect, it's making sure that, for instance, the product that that is being delivered to the recruits or to the soldiers or to whoever it's going to be meets a requirement which is set out by the requirements authorities, your training requirements authorities. So as long as you are making sure that you're doing all your checks and balances through the analysis phase, the design phase, and then of course the delivery phase, you are then wanting to make sure that you assure the whole process, both through first, second, and third party assurance, to make sure everything is compliant. And as long as those 4 phases really, so your analyze, design, delivery, and assurance is taking place, you will have your compliance. Now, there's lots of little nuance in there, but that's it in a nutshell. When we're designing training, often, so for instance, a DARE, we were not necessarily brought in at the start of the DSAT process, which would be your analyze stage. So for us, there was certain analytical work we had to do, but that was more from a cross-mapping point of view, for bringing the Army Leadership Code into the Santos program. But at the same time, what we were trying to do is then take what was already in the Santos program and then draw that through almost a DSAT lens to make sure that what was going into the course, or into the game, into the game, actually could be seen. So essentially we're trying to create those golden threads so that you can sit there and go, this moment that happens in the game, there's a direct line to the requirement that's there, so that we know that when the person is completing the game, they are doing learning that is beneficial and meets the requirements. And that to any training requirements authority or training design authority or delivery authority, what they're really interested in is making sure that they are meeting the requirements. And therefore, it's largely our job to make sure that the game, or another bit of e-learning or digital design, or if it's going to be classroom-based learning, is going to meet that requirement.